name is Miranda Weigler, and I own a company called Little House Foods. We're a processor, and I volunteer doing communications for the Oregon Retail Cannabis Association. We went to DC as part of the National Cannabis Industry Association Lobby Days. It was a couple of days organized by the National Association. We joined about 250 members of the industry from all over the country. We spent time meeting with legislators, both House representatives and senators. We also had an opportunity to meet with the NCIA PAC and get a little up close and personal with about 21 legislators and one senator, Jeff Markley from Oregon, we were pretty proud of. And then we also dropped off additional education packets for most other members of the people on the Hill to help them understand what safe banking would mean to the industry, to understand how 280E as a tax regulation impacts small businesses like ours, and a host of other social equity issues and issues facing the industry as we try and legalize in a sort of patchwork way across the country. Oregon is the most competitive cannabis industry in the world. We are the most mature, we are innovating faster than anyone else. We are also one of the ones actually building it on the ground. One of the things that I've come to understand through my travels in the last month is that there are some people who are throwing a lot of brands around, who are sharing a lot of, oh, we're gonna do all of these things, but they're not actually building the industry. Oregon disproportionately is actually building the cannabis touching industry. We're growing the plants, we're processing the medicine, we're making the packaged goods, and we're doing all the innovative things that come along with that. We aren't seeing that in other states in the same way. So that's kind of the state of the Oregon industry at a 30,000 foot view. That's a very complicated thing when you think about supply. We're having shortage in some area, oversupply in others, questions about what to do with wastage and how to actually get rid of the old product to be able to assess effectively. And farmers are trying to figure out right now, how many seeds should I put in the ground for a harvest in the fall in something that's very volatile and hard to predict. So we're trying to build that economic foundation in a very difficult environment. What I'd like to say is at a national level, having a more rational conversation is really important to the Oregon industry. We are focusing on 37 supply chains, and we're not focusing at all on consumption, retail, what it looks like for the consumer, which is problematic. So we have the end of the supply chain here, and we're trying to build what that looks like, but in the absence of our natural demand markets, the places that we would naturally provide, it's very difficult to build one half of that, and it's very irrational to continue building that in each state by state. So the difficulties that we're finding at the federal level are significantly impacting every Oregon business. I think that we would like to see partnership with state representatives and federal trade representatives of what Oregon's product could be on the state and on the national and the international level. We provide the highest quality product in the world. We're seeing shortages in Canada, in Germany, in almost every state that tries to come online. California is having a difficult time coming online. We would love to be able to provide our high quality, tested, environmental, sustainable product, and we'd love to partner with state agencies to help market that product and also our intellectual capabilities. We have people who've been growing for a long time, we've been having people who do medicine for a long time, and we think that that knowledge is very important. We see a lot of pharma companies who are coming in, who are thinking about the gold rush, who are talking about synthetic products. We know that sustainably grown, sun-grown, natural products make a bigger difference for patients, and it seems counterintuitive that we would go through a process of creating chemicals so we could make a chemical synthetic product instead of growing it in the ground in a place that it does so beautifully. So state support, local support to help us navigate that complex market would be really helpful, and to market what should be a major state commodity as both a commodity and then a finished good. We would love to be able to partner with various state agencies and have those tools to be able to make it a real engine of the economy for Oregon and then also for the country as well. I think it's critical that we think about consumption regimes and we think about fixing the the harm from the war on drugs as a part of building the entire regime. In Oregon, we started with the commercial regime, and then the social equity is a little bit of an afterthought, which is significantly a problem. If we think about them in an integrated way, we can actually do economic redistributive justice by giving those communities that were most marginalized extra access at the beginning to the market, which would help build economic skills and economic wealth in those communities, which would help them rebuild after what was clearly stigmatizing and racist policy for a very, very long time. It's deeply problematic to separate those two things because this industry moves so quickly. Even a delay of 6 months or a year while someone's waiting for their record to get cleared gives them a competitive disadvantage, which seems really wrong and threatens to re-entrench all the harms from the war on drugs, which seems, it's kind of against the point. We're really hoping in some of the export things that we can partner with import markets to actually give first mover advantage to those communities who have been disempowered by the war on drugs, give them access to actually import and distribute the medicine that we can provide, and hopefully in that way, in a slightly poetic justice way, fix some of the harms that have been left over.